Our family sailboat. The wizard had been living with the sailboat Johanna long enough that the boat had quietly evolved into something far beyond a simple vessel. At one time she had merely been a sailboat. But over the years she had gradually transformed into a strange and wonderful hybrid of things. She was now a floating meditation chamber, a quiet artificial intelligence laboratory, a philosopher's retreat, a part-time man cave, and, if one were being perfectly honest, a slightly cluttered maritime museum of unfinished ideas. The wizard stepped aboard one bright spring morning and surveyed the cabin. There were notebooks about quantum physics. There were tools. There were navigation charts. There were computer cables that might once have connected experimental AI hardware. There was a telescope. There were 2 coffee mugs. And sitting proudly on the navigation table was a half-empty jar of peanut butter. The wizard scratched his beard thoughtfully. "Well," he said to nobody in particular, "a man needs energy while contemplating the mysteries of the universe." At that moment his daughter climbed down the hatch ladder and immediately spotted the jar. "Dad." "Yes? Why is there peanut butter next to a compass and 3 screwdrivers?" The wizard paused. "That," he said with great dignity, "is called multidisciplinary research," she sighed. "This boat needs a woman's touch," the wizard chuckled. "Perhaps. But first," he said, clapping his hands together, "we must awaken the old girl. The ceremony of batteries." The crew assembled in the cockpit. The wizard lifted a hatch. "Step 1, he declared, "we inspect the batteries." His son held a multimeter. His granddaughter held a flashlight twice the size of her arm. The wizard explained carefully. "These batteries run the lights, the instruments, and occasionally the wizard's late-night experiments in artificial intelligence." His daughter raised an eyebrow. "Which might explain the wires running across the navigation table." The wizard cleared his throat. "Temporary prototypes. They checked voltage. Everything looked healthy. Then they inspected the solar panel wiring. These panels," the wizard explained, "were installed when the boat lived at another marina." He pointed toward the sun. "But now that she faces a different direction, we may need to reposition them." His son nodded. "Solar geometry." The wizard smiled proudly. "Exactly. The spark plug adventure." Next came the engine. The wizard opened the engine hatch with the reverence of a surgeon. Inside sat the faithful Atomic 4 engine. He tapped it affectionately. "This engine," he said, "is basically the cousin of the engines used in World War II Jeeps." His granddaughter looked impressed. "So it's old?" "Very old," the wizard said proudly. "And very reliable." They removed the 4 spark plugs. The wizard sprayed a little lubricant into each cylinder. "This prevents rust and keeps the rings happy." Then he searched through a drawer. "Now, where is the crank handle?" They eventually found it behind a pile of rope and a mysterious device that might once have been part of a robot experiment. The wizard turned the engine slowly. The pistons moved smoothly. "Good," he said. "The old girl still breathes." The curious oil operation. Next came the oil change. The wizard held up a strange pump and a long tube. His granddaughter looked confused. "Where's the drain plug?" The wizard grinned. "On boats," he said, "we do things differently." He slid the tube down into the engine. "We suck the oil out." His son burst out laughing. "That sounds terrible." "Efficient," the wizard corrected. They filled several empty milk bottles with dark engine oil. The wizard examined one bottle thoughtfully. "Smells like adventure." His daughter shook her head. "That smells like 1978. The fuel filter investigation. Next came the water separator. The wizard opened it carefully. Fuel and water do not get along. They checked the filter. A little sediment appeared, but nothing terrible. We may order a new filter, the wizard said. But this one still has some life. Fresh marina fuel went into the tank along with an additive. This removes any water hiding in the gasoline. His granddaughter nodded seriously. Water is sneaky. Yes, said the wizard. Especially on boats. The Distributor Puzzle Next. They emptied a locker to reach the distributor. The wizard strapped on a headlamp like an explorer entering a cave. This engine still uses points and condenser, his son laughed. Ancient technology. Reliable technology, the wizard corrected. Using tiny screwdrivers and feeler gauges, he adjusted the points. The granddaughter held the flashlight. You're like a mechanic wizard, she said. The wizard smiled. I prefer the title Chief Maritime Philosopher-Engineer. The carburetor debaked. The wizard wiped his hands. We may clean the carburetor, he said. His daughter asked, do we need to? The wizard thought for a moment. Let's try starting the engine first. Sometimes wisdom is knowing when not to take things apart. The starter switch mystery. The starter switch had been acting strange. The wizard opened the panel. A little corrosion showed on the contacts. His son handed him a spare switch. We might replace it today, he said. The wizard nodded. Always good to have backups. Meanwhile, on deck, while the engine crew worked below, the rest of the family cleaned the deck. Marine soap. Fresh water. Scrubbing brushes. The granddaughter sprayed a line that had collected winter grime. This boat is getting a bath. The wizard looked up from the engine. She deserves it. The final discovery. Later that afternoon, the daughter returned to the cabin and lifted the peanut butter jar again. Dad. Yes? This does not belong on the navigation table. The wizard looked thoughtful. But what if one becomes hungry while charting a course through the mysteries of the cosmos? She placed the jar firmly in the galley. There, the wizard sighed dramatically. The feminine touch, but secretly he knew she was right. The ship awakens as evening approached. The crew sat quietly in the cockpit. The boat looked cleaner. The engine was serviced. The systems were checked. The wizard leaned back and looked at Johanna with satisfaction. This boat, he said softly, has been many things. A meditation chamber. A laboratory. A wandering philosopher's cabin. But most importantly, he looked at his family. She is a place where we gather. The granddaughter hugged him. And next time we sail? The wizard smiled. Next time we sail. The marina lights shimmered across the water. And Johanna rested at the dock, a little cleaner, a little stronger, and a little more ready to follow the wind again. God bless the sailors, the sea, and the peanut butter that fuels great ideas. Robert Coley.